Now, before we get into the video, I want to let you guys know about Pickswise.com. Pickswise is the home of sports picks and predictions. You can find the latest college basketball picks every game for every day, and they will give you a free pick for every single March Madness game once the tournament starts, and they'll be able to load in their picks right here. They will give you reasoning, sound reasoning from expert handicappers, from expert analysts. They feature the very best of the college basketball handicappers, and especially as it gets closer to March Madness, be sure to check them out and be sure to bet better with Pickswise. Sup guys, it's Alex here, and welcome to the March 8th edition of the Bracketology update. And man, we are now less than 1 week away from Selection Sunday. It is on the 14th, and I could not be any more excited. The regular season has concluded for all leagues now. We have a couple conference tournament winners, like Morehead State. I mean, congratulations to Morehead State. I lived there for 5 weeks as part of like a summer program back in high school, so it's really nice to see a team from Kentucky making it into the tournament. If it's not going to be the Kentucky Wildcats, that's really fun to see. And we have Liberty making it as well, along with Winthrop. And then Loyola Chicago, I think, are the 4 teams that have clinched a bid as of right now, which means that Drake right there, as the last 4 in, they lost to Loyola Chicago in their conference tournament final. So they are going to be sweating it out a ton on Selection Sunday. If there's any bid thieves or anything like that, they just got to hope that everybody else on the bubble loses in their conference tournaments. But before I kind of get into the bracketology and take an analysis and just talking about this last week, thank you guys for all the support you've been giving me on my channel over the last week or so with all these bracketologies. I mean, heck, the March 5th one, I think has hit 10,000 views now, which is absolutely crazy. I can't thank you guys enough for the support on that. Along with the conference tournament videos, I've uploaded all 6 of the major conference tournament predictions, so make sure you go ahead and check those out. Those have been getting tons of love. I can't thank you guys enough for that. But I am doing a 7,000 subscriber giveaway if we hit 7,000 subscribers by March 14th, Selection Sunday. We are only 780 away right now, but I think we could do it. We've been getting like 80 subscribers a day for these last couple of days, and especially as it ramps up closer to Selection Sunday. Hopefully we can bring some new viewers into the channel here. If we hit 7,000 subscribers by March 14th, I'll be giving away another $25 gift card or a t-shirt of your favorite college basketball team off of Fanatics, something like that. I'm already doing one for hitting 6,000 subscribers. Let's see if we can get another one for 7,000 subscribers. So how you enter? All you have to do is hit subscribe, turn those post notifications on, take a screenshot, send it to @AlexPrice24 on Instagram, and that's how you enter the giveaway. Details are in the description below, so make sure you check that out. But taking a look here at the bubble, last 4 buys are Michigan State, Michigan State, I just got to mention, huge win over Michigan this past Sunday. They are pretty much a lock for the tournament now, which is pretty crazy. I mean, they were off the next 4 out list at the beginning of February, but they have picked it up in the recent weeks, beating the likes of Michigan, Illinois, Ohio State. I mean, if you want to throw Indiana in there as well, they've also beaten them. But Michigan State has turned around their tournament profile. They are looking like a lock for the tournament right now. But then we have Louisville, Georgia Tech, VCU. Last 4 in are Colorado State, Boise State, Drake, and Xavier. First 4 out are Utah State, then Syracuse. St. Louis, who also lost in the A10 semifinals. I think it was either against St. Bonaventure or VCU. I can't remember which one. But they are on the outside looking in now. They are going to need some help. I've heard rumors that they're going to try to schedule some games outside of the A10 tournament before Selection Sunday. So I'm not sure how that works, if that's even legal in regards to the NCAA. But I mean, we'll kind of see what happens with that. Then Seton Hall, and then the next 4 out are Memphis, who lost they got shafted on Sunday. It was a tie game up until the last second, like half-court heave by Houston to beat Memphis. That would have been, if they had gone to overtime and beaten Houston, that would have been a huge win for Memphis, but alas, they did not. Then we have SMU, Ole Miss, and St. John's bringing up the rest of the next 4 out. So it'll be interesting to see if any of these teams can kind of make a run here for a spot in the tournament, in their own conference tournaments. I mean, heck, winning their conference tournaments would automatically put them in the tournament. But if they can get a strong showing, maybe that'll be enough for the selection committee. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and take a look here at the bracket and go ahead and get into our predictions. But before I do, I am going to go ahead and come up with a food item for you guys to comment. I've been doing it on all my recent bracketologies. Didn't do it for the conference tournaments, but we are going to go ahead and pick those back up. If you're watching at this point in the video, it's probably like 4.5 minutes in, something crazy like that. Comment chicken parmesan below. I am in love with chicken parmesan, especially from Lean Cuisine, and it is just nice to have like just a plop of chicken, if you want to say that, along with some spaghetti or just some pasta along with it. I just love that combination there. Chicken Parmesan, go ahead and comment that below. Let's go and get into the predictions here, starting it off with Region 1. We're obviously going to have Gonzaga here moving on past the winner of AC&T and Prairie View A&M, which, I mean, that's not going to matter. Then this matchup right here, I am on a complete 50-50 toss-up of Loyola Chicago and Connecticut. I think both of these teams could make a run in the tournament, but they are matched up with each other here in the first round. I'm going to go with 9 seed Connecticut, but I think with a better matchup for Loyola Chicago in the first round, like with a Missouri or a Florida or a North Carolina or something like that, the other 9 seeds, I think that they could make a run and beat the 9 seed. I guess not really make a run too much because they go up against the number 1 seed, but you know what I'm saying. Then we'll have Florida State here moving on past the winner of Xavier and Boise State, which I think would be Boise State. Purdue, I think, could beat UC Santa Barbara. I think UC Santa Barbara is a team you guys got to watch out for as a potential sleeper, but it just won't be against Purdue. Then I'm going to go with Tennessee over VCU, Texas over Georgia State, Wisconsin over UCLA. Wisconsin fans are going to be happy that I actually picked you to win a game in the NCAA tournament. And then Ohio State here over Southern Utah. Then we're going to go with Gonzaga here, moving on past Connecticut. Though I could see Connecticut pulling off the upset there, I just don't think they have enough firepower behind James Boatnight. I think Mark Few would make it a priority to make sure that Boatnight is guarded. Maybe a double team, maybe they play some zone or something like that, but they are going to make sure that he doesn't have too much of an impact on the game. Then we're going to have Florida State here moving on past Purdue. I do know that Florida State did just get upset on the road by Notre Dame, but I think that Florida State is a team that can easily make a Sweet 16 potential Final Four run with the right matchups. Then we're going to go with Texas here over Tennessee, and then Ohio State over Wisconsin. Then for a spot in the Elite Eight, we have Gonzaga moving on past Florida State, along with, actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to switch that up. I'm going to go with Florida State here, pulling off the 5-1 upset. I think Gonzaga will probably win this game like 65 to 70 times out of 100, but I think that this is one of those times where there will be an upset. I mean, anytime there's an upset, the team that got upset is going to win the majority of the time. That's what makes it an upset. So I'm going to go with Florida State here, pulling off the 5-1 upset. I know they did just lose to Notre Dame, but I think that makes them a potential sleeper. Maybe some people are writing them off after that. But with MJ Walker, with I think Scotty Barnes is his name too. I may be wrong on that, with Rashawn Gray as well. I think that they could pull off the upset victory over Gonzaga there and get revenge for the 2019, I think it was either Elite 8 or Sweet 16 matchup to where they ended up losing there. Sorry for that little pop-up. Then we have Texas here falling to Ohio State. Look at Ohio State making an Elite 8 run. I am really surprised by that. I did not think I'd have Ohio State in the Elite 8, but they are a really good team. They're a 2 seed for a reason, but they will fall to Florida State, who I have making a Final Four run right now as a 5 seed. So all you Seminole fans are going to be happy with me for that. Then we're going to go up here to Region 2. Baylor will beat Northeastern. Then I'm going to go with the Bonnies of St. Bonaventure moving on past Missouri. Texas Tech, I think, can beat Winthrop. Winthrop only has 1 loss this year, but I don't think that they're one of the teams that could pull off an upset in the first round. But, I mean, it just depends on who they're matched up with. I just don't like the matchup against Texas Tech. Then we're going to go with a 13-4 upset with Western Kentucky and Charles Bassey over Virginia. Virginia is a team that I think can get upset. I know they're the number 1 seed in the ACC right now, in a down year for the ACC, but I think that Western Kentucky is a team that can make an upset in the first round with a potential first-round pick in Charles Bassey, and a team that really wants to win here in the NCAA tournament. I think that they can make that 13-4 upset happen. Then I'm going to go with another upset pick here and go with 11 seed Georgia Tech over 6 seed Oklahoma. These are 2 teams trending in opposite directions. Georgia Tech has played their way off of the bubble for the most part. I mean, they're still in the next 4 buys or something like that. I don't remember what the title of that portion of the bubble is. But Oklahoma, I think, has lost like 4 out of the last 6 or 7 games. They need to get some wins in the Big 12 tournament to regain their confidence. I think Georgia Tech pulls off the upset. We're going to have Villanova here moving on past South Dakota State. San Diego State moving on past Louisville, along with Iowa moving on past Grand Canyon. Then Baylor moves on to the Sweet 16 over St. Bonaventure, along with Texas Tech over Western Kentucky. Then I'm going to go with 11 seed Georgia Tech here, making a run into the Sweet 16 over Villanova. Villanova lost Colin Gillespie a couple of weeks ago, which was a huge loss for them. I hope he's okay. Had that sprained torn MCL, I think, and is out for the season. And then they went on the road and lost to Providence, which is not a good loss at all. I think that they are a team that could make a run in the tournament, but there's just a lot of questions surrounding that program right now, and I think that Georgia Tech will take advantage of that and make a Sweet 16 run as an 11 seed. And then we're going to go with Iowa here, moving on past San Diego State. Almost said South Dakota State. Then for a spot in the Elite Eight, Baylor and Texas Tech. These 2 teams just matched up last night, and Baylor destroyed Texas Tech, so I got to go with Baylor here, moving on past Texas Tech. along with Iowa here moving on past Georgia Tech. So we have Baylor and Iowa here in the Elite Eight, and I think that Baylor has made their case that they have returned, that they are back from their COVID pause, back in full swing back in full strength after beating West Virginia on the road and then Texas Tech right there last night. So then if we go down here to Region 3, we have Michigan moving on past Siena, Virginia Tech, I think, falling to Florida. I'm not even sure if Virginia Tech's going to be able to make the NCAA tournament right now just because they're having COVID issues with that program. So hopefully they can get those sorted out in time for the tournament. I mean, that would suck if you got a tournament bid but couldn't go because of the COVID stuff. But then we're going to have Colorado here moving on past Toledo, along with Kansas moving on past Liberty. Then Oregon will fall to Wichita State here. I have another 11/6 upset. Wichita State, I think, is like 15-4 this season. I think that they are a potential sleeper team to move on to the Sweet 16, but we'll kind of see what happens with that. Then Arkansas will move on past Morehead State here. As I mentioned at the top of the video, Morehead State is really hot. They've won 19 out of their last 20 games, but I don't like that matchup with Arkansas. I think that they could upset Villanova. I think I might pick them to beat Villanova, but just not against Arkansas. Then we're going to go with Maryland here, pulling off the 10/7 over Clemson, if I can pick Maryland. There we go. Then Houston will beat Bryant. Then we're going to have Michigan moving on to the Sweet 16 over Florida, along with Kansas beating Colorado. I think Kansas has righted that ship after struggling and falling out of the top 25 earlier this season. Then I'm going to go with Arkansas here, moving on past Wichita State, and then Houston moving on past Maryland. Then I'm going to go with Michigan getting revenge for their, actually not revenge. I think that they beat Kansas back in 2013. I think that was one of the Final Four matchups. I may be wrong on that. Don't quote me on that. But I'm going to go with Michigan here, moving on to the Elite Eight as a 1 seed over Kansas. And then Arkansas pulling off the 3/2 upset over Houston, which sets up Michigan and Arkansas. And I am going to go with the upset pick of Arkansas as a 3 seed, upsetting the 1 seed Michigan Wolverines, who just lost to Michigan State. Arkansas did struggle a bit with Texas A&M, but they righted that ship and came out with the win. They've won like 10 out of their last 11 games or something crazy like that now. They are a hot team right now and somebody to keep an eye on. But then over here in Region 4, we're going to go with Illinois moving on past the winner of Nicholls State and Hartford. That one doesn't matter. Then I'm going to go with North Carolina pulling off the 9/8 slight upset over LSU. Creighton, I think, can beat the winner. Actually, you know what? I'm going to go with an upset pick here. I'm going to go with Colorado State and Drake, whoever wins that game. I think it'll be Colorado State to beat Creighton. Creighton, as I mentioned in the Big East Tournament predictions video, there's a lot of questions surrounding that program as well, with Coach McDermott being suspended right now. Don't know if he's going to be back in time for the tournament, just with all that racist comments that he said about the players. So we'll kind of see what happens with that. But I think with that uncertainty, I think that opens the door for a 12/5 upset. Then I'm going to go with Oklahoma State and Cade Cunningham moving on past UNC Greensboro. USC, I think, can beat Michigan State. That one's like another 50-50 toss-up for me. Michigan State's been looking great so far over these last couple of weeks, but USC has been as well. They had that huge last-second shot to beat UCLA this weekend. Then I'm going to go with West Virginia beating Colgate. Rutgers, I think, can upset BYU as a 10/7, then Alabama will beat Cleveland State. Then we're going to go with Illinois beating North Carolina for a spot in the Sweet 16. Oklahoma State and Cade Cunningham moving on to the Sweet 16 as well, if I can pick Oklahoma State. There we go. Then West Virginia will move on past USC, along with Alabama over Rutgers. Then for a spot in the Elite Eight, Illinois will beat Oklahoma State. And then we're going to go with West Virginia pulling off the 3/2 over Alabama. And then Illinois and West Virginia here in the Elite Eight. I am going to go with the Fighting Illini of Illinois here, moving on to the Final Four, which sets up two number 1 seeds, a 3 seed, and a 5 seed here in the Final Four. Florida State and Illinois. I got Illinois winning that one. Illinois had just been fantastic, and especially with Ayodo Sumu coming back, they are looking like a champion right now. And then we're going to go with Baylor here beating Arkansas as well, which sets up a national championship game of the 2 number 1 seeds, 2 teams who I think are fantastic this year. I've been stating all season, I think Baylor is really the only team that could beat Illinois in the NCAA tournament. I think Illinois could beat Gonzaga as well. So I am going to go with Baylor, who looked really good this weekend, really good this past week. I think that they are national title contenders, along with Illinois and Gonzaga. I mean, I had Gonzaga losing in the Sweet 16, but you never know what happens in the NCAA tournament. I have Baylor here walking out that team, especially with Macy O'Teague going 10 of 12 from the three-point line in that win over Texas Tech, which was just absolutely crazy. So there we have it. I have Baylor winning the national championship here in this March 8th Bracketology. Let me know what you guys think of my predictions in the comment section below. Make sure you leave your own predictions in the comment section below as well. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you enter the 7,000 subscriber giveaway, and I will see you all later.